Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shakti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jam Masters. We always talk about to work with the mind and the heart in the daily process of life. You have to start with the small stuff. It's the simple little things that you bother yourself about. Then people write me and say, yeah, but there's big stuff. Yeah, there's a lot more small stuff. Things that irritate you, the driver in front of you, the weather, the rain, what somebody said, what somebody didn't say, what you thought somebody said, what you remember somebody said 10 years ago, and I don't know what they meant and what are they doing now. What are you doing? If you do that with your mind, it's going to cause disturbance. It's going to cause you not to be comfortable. Why? Because it's making you not comfortable. I used to say this, what if I took a headset? Nowadays, you can have earplugs. But take a headset, I put it over your head, and I'm going to take a microphone. Don't let me do it. And I'm going to do that stuff inside your head all day. Oh my God, you forgot what you said the other day. I wonder if she's still thinking about it. Should I call her? No, because she's probably not thinking about it, and I'm a reminder of it. And then, how would you like me talking to you that? That's what's going on inside your head. Do you understand that? All the time. Don't you dare say it's not. It's just these thoughts are popping up and feelings, and thoughts affect your feelings, and all this stuff goes on. Witness consciousness is not stopping that. It's not about stopping that. It's about being aware that you are in there watching that. And eventually you'll watch it and you'll say, whoa, no wonder I'm not okay. No wonder there's so many problems inside of me because I'm making them be. Well, that's the small stuff. So tonight, we take a moment, because you write me all the time, what about the big stuff? It's irrelevant. I'll do it, but it's irrelevant because you can't handle the small stuff. You're not going to handle the big stuff. Not a chance in the world. If you can't handle the fact that it's raining when you don't want it to be raining, you're in trouble. Because then if somebody leaves you or somebody dies or if you get sick or something happens, there's no way you're handling it. Not a chance in the world. If you can't handle it's hot out and complain all the time, why does it have to be so hot? Or the fact that you saw something you didn't like, oh my God, I can't believe how disgusting the color combination was. That's ridiculous. How could they own a car like that? What are you doing? It has nothing to do with you. It's just something that's happening inside your mind that you're not paying attention to, and it's letting you get upset. It's letting you bring you down. That's what creates your moods. All right? All right. What about the big stuff? What you're going to find is the big stuff is way, way harder to deal with. And the way you try to deal with the big stuff is to make it stop. Not to handle it, to make it stop. Okay? I can't believe you said what you said. I can't handle it. You need to stop it. You need to apologize. In other words, I can't handle it. There's no way I'm handling it. If I can't handle the driver in front of me, if I can't handle the weather, if I can't handle that I got a mosquito bite, these dumb things that there's nothing to do about other than handle it, will you? All right. Now you have something going on, which your mind's going to go crazy and your heart's going to go crazy. And it's going to talk about every single time. Everything it's talking about is what do I do about this? How do I stop this? You don't realize that. You do something and you get jealous over what the significant other did. And what are you trying to do? How do I stop this mess from going on inside of me? How do I stop the feeling of jealousy? How do I stop it? Not how do I deal with it? Not why is it happening? Not is it real? It's just what do I need to do to stop it? I need to drink. I need to smoke. I need to do drugs. I need to yell at somebody. I need to do something. I can't handle this energy. Well, what you're going to find, but you're not, unless you're ready, unless you can handle the small stuff, I don't mind talking about it because that's like graduate school. If you can't handle undergrad or high school, You're not going to be able to handle the big stuff. I'm telling you. If I had my way, I would only talk about handling the small stuff because you can't even handle that. All right? You don't let yourself be okay with things that make no difference at all, like what happened to you 10 years ago, or what somebody might have said or didn't say, or what somebody might say in the future. You're just making it up in your head, causing trouble for yourself. So while it's you causing trouble for yourself, I highly suggest learning not to do that before you handle a breakup, before you handle somebody dying, before you handle getting fired. That's not something you're doing. It's something you have to deal with. But if you're going to continue creating in your mind these disturbances that are only there because you put them there. It's true it happened 10 years ago. Has it happened since? No. But I'm embarrassed of what I said. I was in high school and I didn't know what I was doing and the whole class laughed at me. That was 10 years ago. Why is that still in there? So that's a situation, what I'm talking about, that, believe it or not, is small stuff. Why? There's nothing to do about it. You're not going to go back and make it not happen. You're not going to think of some way. So what you're doing, all you do then is try to figure out, how can I deal with the fact that this is going on in my head and I can't deal with it? It's not comfortable. Should I call somebody? Should I do that? Like I said, should I drink? Should I smoke? Should I do drugs? Should I go run around? Should I party so loud that I can't even see myself straight? What do I need to do to not have this stuff be bothering me? And the truth is, what you need to do is every minute of every day of your life is keep watch, not stress. Just notice, are you causing yourself trouble? The world doesn't have to do anything. You're perfectly capable of doing it for yourself all the time. Do you hear me? Are you aware of that? Do you know that's going on in there? Like the vast majority of all the stuff that's going on in your mind, other than your purely intellectual thoughts, which you wish you could have more, particularly distracted by your personal thoughts, or a vast majority of these, are you just popping into your mind to cause trouble for yourself? So I want to talk about the bigger stuff, but it's irrelevant. It's truly irrelevant. If you can't play tennis with a ball thrower or with a coach, you ain't playing with McEnroe or the Williams sisters. I guarantee you. But if you want to, you can practice, you can learn, you can do things that will make you better and better, but we don't do it. We just let ourselves create all this mess that is meaningless. Why do I call it meaningless? Because it's not still happening. Either it didn't happen and you made it up and it's bothering you. You like that one? All right. How many things have you worried about in your life that didn't happen? Boy, I wish you could take inventory. You'd freak out. I'm telling you, it's 95% of every single thing you ever worried about did not happen. You're not even sure what to worry about. You might think, should I worry about this? No, this is more important. No, that was important. You worry about what you should worry about. It gets really weird in there. Have you noticed? Okay, all right, fine. I did my job. That's where your work is. There, learn. I don't care how you do it. Just learn to look at that and say, that is a waste of my happiness. That's a waste of my love. That's a waste of my joy. I'm creating trouble for myself and then try to figure out how to make it go away. How about don't create it? And you do that by letting go. It's always letting go. Just relax in the face of it. Yes, it's hot out, but I can handle it. Yes, somebody says something, or maybe somebody will say something I don't like. That's a better one. You're pretty nutty in there, can't you? All right? Relax. Okay, now, let's say you're ready for graduate school. And whether you're ready or not, you're going to hit it. So you might as well talk about it. How do you handle when the mind is disturbed? The mind is having trouble with something. And that's generally down to something, not a whole bunch of little things every few minutes. Like it was hot, oh my God, what did he say? No, it just stays there, doesn't it? And it stays there at night. It stays there when you wake up in the morning. It's there for the rest of the day. Anybody listening? Anybody got that? This thing bothered you. It was not low-hanging fruit. It caused disturbance inside. It could still be something that happened. That's suppression. It could be something that happened 20, 30 years ago that you can't let go of. And it just keeps coming back up. And you can't get it out of your head. You know that, right? So the first thing I will teach you, and it's very deep. It takes very deep years of meditation to see this. The root of the mind is in the heart. It is because it is disturbing your heart that it is creating all this mess inside your mind. If something happened and two people are standing there and one person doesn't have a relationship with the person that caused you trouble, they're not having trouble. It's not the event. It's what it hit inside of you. And generally, it's fear. It's fear. It's fear of being rejected. It's fear of being hurt. It's a fear of whatever it is. It's just fear, right? And that fear manifests as logic in the mind. The mind figures out, why do I feel this fear? Well, because I could get fired, because this could happen, or because that happened. How nobody could handle what happened to me. It's just, it has a problem in the heart, and it manifests in the mind. Do you understand that? That's a very important step, because people try to work on their mind. You can't work on your mind when it's really disturbed, when it's just bothering you every minute about the same thing over and over again. You can do what you want. What mantra used to mean to me when I started this journey was a sledgehammer. Okay? He's in there doing this, bothered. Bam, groom, 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 shut up, groom. That is not doing mantra. That's basically trying to find a hammer that can beat this thing down so you don't have to deal with it. If you succeed, it will come back. That is just suppression. Call it mantra, give it a fancy name. It's suppression. You're taking the energy you can't deal with, you're trying to beat it out of there, yell it out. Where does it go? The energy didn't go anywhere. You didn't let it. What you did is try to shove it away so you don't have to experience it. Not a good thing to do, because it's just going to come back up. And by the way, it doesn't always come back looking the same. It's like a virus in a computer. You don't know what's going next. Next thing you know, you're taking out the dog or the kids or your husband or your wife or a job. You don't like your job anymore. It's that same stuff that you pushed down there, and the heart did not work it through in any way, shape, or form. And so now all kinds of trouble goes on. But that disturbed mind, the real disturbed mind, its root is in the heart. And so the great ones, they don't try to work with the mind. It's not a matter of quieting the mind. If the mind is noisy, there's a reason. If a child's misbehaving, there's a reason. It's not enough to send him to the room and tell him to shut up without dinner. You didn't deal with what happened today. What can we work with? Okay? And so instead, you're sitting here saying, I'm not going to deal with the cause. I'm just going to deal with the effect. Okay, yes, you'll go through so many stages, but I guarantee you that will never work, ever. It does not work with the effect. It works with the cause. We just say work at the root. So the root of the mind is in the heart. The heart is having trouble and expresses itself to try to release. The heart, nothing's against you. It's all for you. It's just like when your body temperature goes up because you have a bacteria or a virus, and the body temperature, a few degrees, it goes up, 100, 101, 102. It's not trying to make you sick. It's trying to make you well. All right? That raise in temperature is because those viruses and bacteria can't always handle a higher temperature. And so the body naturally tries to take care of itself. But that's the root. So basically, it is the same thing inside of your heart. If the heart is having trouble and you feel fear or insecurity or jealousy, which all those are fear, by the way. What is insecurity? Fear. Funny, if you go down to the root, it's always fear. Okay, want to do that? What is jealousy? Fear of loss. If you don't care about the person, you don't have to be jealous about them. They're running around with somebody else. Who cares? But if it's your dude or dudess and they're running around with somebody else, you're afraid of losing something you think you need. And so jealousy is fear. It's not evil. It's not bad. It's the heart attempting to release the fear that is generated inside. What is insecurity? Fear of being rejected. You see how it comes down to fear? It all comes down to fear. It all comes down to fear. The root of all this stuff that's going on in the mind is the heart. There are people who are afraid of failure. What's that? Is anybody driven by fear of failure? Has anybody realized when I get publish or perish, or I want to make enough money or people retract, right? You're just expressing the fear that you feel in your heart that something's wrong or something will go wrong and you won't be okay. The real fear is I won't be okay. That's what will happen. If I knew I didn't need the relationship so bad, and if they ran off with somebody else, not so bad. I might not feel jealousy. But it's the fear, let's have that. The fear that I might not be okay. How's that? And it doesn't say might not. When it hits the mind, it says you won't be. It already knows. And so then what does it try to do? The heart, which is just emotion, it's just energy. it tries to get rid of that energy. It doesn't want it. Just like when it tries to get rid of bacteria or different things or any other natural healing process the body has. It's trying to fix you. It's not trying to hurt you or punish you. The heart does not want that stuff in there. It wants to feel love. It wants to feel Shakti. It wants to feel God. It does, as its natural state. So when all this messed up energy gets shoved down there, it tries to push it up, tries to get rid of it. And that expresses in the mind. I could talk all night on it. I've watched it for 55 years, right? It tries to release the energy through the mind. Even if the mind's saying terribly negative things. People say to me, but you understand, sometimes I have terrible, terrible thoughts. I don't even like to talk about them, about hurting people or about doing something that I would never do, but it just comes into my mind and starts thinking about it. That is the problems of the heart, not knowing how to deal or release the energy, and it's just shoving it up there and expressing itself as crazy, this, that, and the other thing. And then you get afraid that you're doing something wrong, so now there's guilt. It just spreads. But the key, if you really want to work with it, and you have to be ready, and I still keep going back, if you can't handle the small stuff, the low-hanging fruit, that which if you aren't being bothered by it, there's nothing to do about it. That's what heat is. That's what driving in front of you is. That's what, oh my God, I dropped some ketchup on my pants. I have to go back to work. If you're not bothered by it, there's nothing to do about it. Doesn't matter. So I beg you to think that it matters to deal with that. Those are the place where you work. But okay, what happens? At some point, trouble going to hit you. And it's the mind's going to get disturbed, very disturbed. Can it get disturbed? It can get very disturbed. Can it be disturbed for more than a minute? How about an hour? How about a day? It can get, I'm being honest, it can get disturbed. So the only hope you have in truly working with it, yes, you can quiet it down, but you didn't get rid of the root, is to take a look at the heart, which is hard to do when the mind distracts you with all of its talk and all its solutions and all its problems and complaints and, why did I have to do that? Why did he have to do that? If he hadn't done that, I'd be okay. Can't believe he did that. And it's just chewing at you. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? All right? I'm telling you, you get to a point where you don't look at the mind. You say, okay, go on, express yourself. Go on. I'm going down here. And you follow the energy down to the heart. And you realize that is coming up. Just like if you have a spring, we have all these springs around here. If you go there, you'll see that water comes up and it ripples all over. It makes currents, right, as it comes and hits the top. That's not where it comes from. If you dive down there, you're going to see it gets narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow. But it's hard. It's pushing up really hard the closer you get. And there's this hole down there in the rocks, right? And that's where the spring is coming up. That is the relationship between your heart and your mind. It's coming up out of the heart. When it comes up as disturbed energy, it hits the mind, and then you know what disturbance looks like. And I'm telling you that when you get ready, you're welcome to work with it, you realize messing with the mind is not dealing with what's wrong. What's wrong is the fear in the heart, is the problems in the heart. But like I said, the current gets stronger and stronger as you go down there. It's hard to push past the noise that's coming up so you can go down to the root. But you guys are great yogis and yoginis, all right? It's fine that you at least hear that if you're in there saying my mind should be quiet, you're wrong. How's that? It is not natural for the mind to be quiet until you've gotten rid of that junk that's inside your heart. It's going to come back. Leave a good meditation and tell me how long before you have problems. Do you hear me? And then you're told, well, pay attention. Like, no. Yes, fine. Do whatever they tell you. I don't want you to listen to me. The question is, why does that happen? Why? If you go deep in meditation, you feel peace, you feel God, you feel love. Within an hour, you're worrying about what the phone call is and what somebody said yesterday and what am I supposed to be doing? Okay? It's not what I do about that. It's why is it happening? It's always why is it happening? Go the next layer down, not try to solve it at the level it's happening. There's not a real solution level it's happening. Well, there's a cause. Come on, you're scientists. Okay? You have to deal with the cause, not the effect. The disturbed mind is an effect. If you're sitting there trying to make a disturbed mind be quiet, good luck. I told you once, I don't like to say it, but it's true. Mayor Baba, a great avatar, one of the highest beings on the face of the earth, used to tell his disciples, when your mind's in that state and it's totally disturbed, don't meditate. because all you're doing is struggling and fighting with all that disturbance. Cook or play golf or do a hobby, express yourself different ways, but don't suppress that stuff. Okay? Nobody tells you that, do they? All right? That's a great master teaching you. It's not an excuse not to meditate. Meditate is a wonderful thing. But if you're just going to go in there and ruminate over the problems and try to stop them and argue why, it's not necessary, all that stuff, you're just creating more commotion. How do you solve this stuff? It's not easy. But you remember, it's in the heart. It's not in the mind. It's in the heart. And you try to look. Your consciousness tries to look past the noise of the mind. Not easy, but it's doable. You just relax past it. You understand that noise in the mind is not the problem. It's the result of the problem. And so what am I doing? Struggling with that. Why don't I get down there and deal with the problem? And so you start watching your heart. And what you're going to see is that the closer you get, the more you bring your consciousness, that's what you're doing. You're bringing the awareness of your consciousness out of this higher center, the mind, mental plane, down to the Shakti, the energy level, that plane, all right? And you're going to see the energy is very, very strong. In fact, most of you have never gone down there and don't want to go down there. In other words, your mind is trying to tell you how not to have to go down there. Apologize. Say you're sorry, but you have to mean it. Say it at least 15 times, right? In other words, what can I do so I don't have to face myself? Better yet, what do you have to do so I don't have to face myself? You just blame everything out there. That's why you blame, because you need to push it out there and find a way to make it be quiet inside. So if you said something that bothered me even years ago, and I don't mind it. AA teaches, and I really respect AA a lot. Okay, a lot of people get help with really beautiful teachings. They teach that when you see there's something in the past happened and you hurt somebody or did something, go down and find them and apologize. Okay, that's fine. And I'm not going to say no. Okay, yoga does not teach that. It teaches if you see that something stuck inside of you, that's over. It's just not over inside of you. It's over, right? Go deeper. Go down to see why this is still in there. I'm telling you, you check it out. There are times that you go try to straighten this stuff out from years ago. They don't know what you're talking about. They didn't have a problem with what you did. They forgot about it instantaneously. You got all guilty about it. And now you feel like a fool having brought anything back up. So basically you sit there and say the solution's inside, not outside. Now, I'm not telling you not to do that stuff. You do whatever works for you. But I'm telling you what's said and done. You look at those problems in the mind. I'm telling you they're coming from the heart. Whether you see it or not, whether you can trace them back or not, to exact moments, it doesn't matter. The noise that is ending up in the mind is like the spring coming from the heart, hitting the surface of the mind, causing all those ripples. So what do you try to do? You try to dive down. It's like diving down into the heart, right? You have to go past this current that's pushing up. How? Always, it's the same answer, relax. I don't know why we're talking so deep. I hope you can use it. Relaxation is always the answer. So when you start with all that noise in your mind and you see yourself trying to go out to solve it, to stop it, you try to play billiards with your thoughts. If I have this thought, it will offset that one. She didn't really mean what she said. By the way, it's not bothering me anymore because I don't think she even heard me. No, she didn't hear me. What are you doing? It's called rationalization. You're trying to throw one thought at another one so you can neutralize the thoughts. Yes, it can help. Yes, do it. Do whatever you need to do. When said and done, there's this dive down into the heart. And you have to be able to relax through the noise that exists now because it's not the problem. It's the result of the problem. So are you willing to just say, okay, I hear it, I know it, I feel everything. I'm going to relax so I can go deeper, so I can go down. Not just in meditation. You get to a point where you're doing this during the day. Anything. You just learn to let go. That's what letting go means. People tell me letting go means not dealing with the world. It does not mean letting go of the world. It means letting go of the noise inside of you so you can go deeper inside. Accepting, even acceptance doesn't mean accept everything that's going on. It means accept that this noise is going on inside of your mind. You know where it's coming from. It's coming from your heart. So there's no reason to fight with the mind. So I accept that the mind is doing this. It's not its fault. It's not against you. It's not evil. The mind is not evil. Understand that. Period. I don't care. Hitler, anybody. That mind was really screwed up, wasn't it? That's because where the heart was. Okay? It had serious problems. And then it came up and he got the ultimate solution, didn't he? Such an amazing, I'm Jewish, that's an amazing example of watching how disturbed that can get. And so all of a sudden the mind's saying, this is a solution, kill everybody. This is a solution, wipe out a whole race. This is a solution, holy mackerel, blow up the world and take it over. That's the solution to the fact that I don't feel secure and I need to own everything and power everything. You understand that? It's very good to look at the extremes. They help you see what's going on. Don't ever be afraid to look at the extremes. They're very good teachers for you, but they're hard to handle, aren't they? You want to just say, oh my God, no. So the answer is relax through the disturbance. You just, okay, mantra can help, yes, but it means relaxation. Things will help you, but relax. Don't think that's the end. Relax doesn't mean it stops. Relax means you don't get caught in it and you're able to go deeper. And when you relax past the noise of the mind, I just told you, doesn't mean it stopped. Okay, when I go dive down to those springs and I get past the ripples on the surface and I start feeling the force coming up, those ripples did not stop, did they? I just went past them because I focused on going deeper, right? So you relax through the disturbance of the mind. My advice is, it's funny, when I did the interview with Oprah on the Untethered Soul, she said that one of her favorite chapters was, let go now or fall. Let go now or fall. What does that mean? The moment you see that this is getting disturbed, go deeper. Let go. Otherwise, it can get good and disturbed. And the more disturbed it gets, the harder it is to stop. Do you know that? So your path is, you notice what's going on. You understand this whole thing, that the root of the mind is in the heart. And you're going to deal with it. So I would love you, just notice right away, this is the heart emanating the disturbances and fears, and they're coming into the mind to try to solve them up here, try to intellectually come up with an answer. But you get wise enough, there's no answer up there. That's not where the problem is. You're not going to stop the ripples on the top of the water by smoothing them off or capturing them or carrying iron in there, right? There's a cause. You have to go down to the cause. I would love that you at least reach the point that you understand all the time that the root of the mind is in the heart, and you're wasting your time to try and stop all that noise by dealing with the mind. But I'm not telling you not to do it. There's techniques you can do. Yoga helps and meditation helps and stretching helps and all kinds of things help. It's wonderful. But understand that you're dealing with the result, not the cause. And so you try to start going down. Ram Dass used to say something beautiful. He used to make believe that your heart, that center right there, has a nostril, just like your nose does. And you can breathe in and out through that nostril. Breathe in and then blow out the disturbance. Breathe in. That's a wonderful technique. You're working directly with the heart. Do you understand that? You're working with the energies of the heart rather than the noise of the mind. So that type of technique or anything that works for you. There's so many techniques. I don't teach techniques. Why? If you're sincere, you will know what to do. If you catch on and you know that noise going on in your mind, that worry, that's coming from the heart, you will wisely go down there and you figure it out. You figure out how to keep your relationships, figure out how to make money, figure out how to not lose your job. You figure out lots of stuff, don't you? Okay? And basically, can you figure out what to do with the fact that your heart's full of the garbage you shoved down there? Because now it's full of fear. And you will. I give you some techniques. Breathe through the heart is a very powerful thing. But the main thing is your consciousness, your awareness of being willing to not get stuck in the distraction of the mind so that it can go down and you'll feel it. You'll start to go down, it'll push you back up. You start to go down, a thought will come in. Next thing you know, oh my God, I've been thinking about that again. I tried not to. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's like practicing tennis or playing scales on a piano so you can be a better pianist. You're practicing going down. You're practicing dealing at a deeper level. Of course, it's going to pull you back up. Don't get judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't say it's wrong. Don't feel guilty. Don't give up, right? Just say, okay, I'm learning tennis and I never played before and the ball's going in the net. That's what they do when you don't know how to play. But every time you hit that ball, you can do better. And so that's what you're doing here. You're practicing diving down deeper. At some point, the deeper you go, it's not that the mind isn't, I don't know. They say if a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it, did it make a noise? Oh, so nice koan. Who the heck knows? There was nobody to hear it. Same thing here. If you start diving down into the heart, does the mind stop, or do you stop listening to it? Guess what the answer is? What difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference at all. The point is your consciousness is not being distracted by it. Therefore, it's fine. Don't go back and check it out. Hey, I wonder if it's still talking. No, don't do that. Just keep concentrating your awareness down toward the heart, down toward the heart. Breathe through the heart, right? You can go through so many. Some people use discipline, concentrate, Zen. I started with Zen. That's just the first thing that somebody gave me a book on Zen when I was trying to stop my mind being quiet. And they didn't talk about the mind at all or the heart. They talked about what in yoga we call the hara, which is just below the belly button. There's a center, a powerful center and energy there. And they taught concentrating on that. Just concentrate on that. Just full concentration on that. And it's very powerful. Okay? So the key is pick your focus. The heart is a wonderful focus. Now, how you end up dealing with it, because Zen tends to be strictly power. You're using the power of concentration to focus, total focus. The heart is much more gentle than that. And so when you're working on your heart, you get to, like I say, you breathe, right? You get to treat your heart as a little child that's been abused, because it has. You shoved every single thing that ever bothered you down into your heart. Those are some scars. You patterned them all in the heart. So now, of course, there's fear. Somebody rejected you in 5th grade. Somebody did that. Your boyfriend left you. This happened. You got hurt. So you just shove it all down there. It ends up in the heart. And that's why it keeps coming back up. You say, but it doesn't in the mind. No, it comes back in the mind because the root's in the heart. And so you learn to relax through the mind. Relax through that. That doesn't distract you. Relax. The opposite of relaxation is resistance. You're fighting something as opposed to, it's very hard to relax when you're resisting, isn't it? Okay? I don't know what you said to me. Just relax. Shut up. I'm not going to relax. I don't know what you said. Okay? But if you can relax, all of a sudden it's not the center of your attention. So as you work your way down toward the heart, you're going to feel it pull you back up. You just come on down. No guilt, no shame. There's no better. There's no worse. There's no supposed to. There's just, this is what I'm doing. I'm learning to not get distracted by the noise in the mind so that I can begin to dive, take that dive. I'm going to cry. That's a serious dive into the heart. And we'll talk a little bit about what it's like as you go down in there. So as you let go, it gets hotter. Of course it gets hotter, just like the spring gets stronger when you go down into it. Let's say there's your bonfire we have on New Year's Eve. There's smoke that comes off. Some people can't handle the smoke, let's say, right? So they give up, they walk away. Unless you make it through the smoke, you're not getting to the fire. It's always the same thing. They have a root. So if you're not willing to go down into the heat of the heart and you go running back up to find the solution in the mind will always have the solution outside. Because it can deal with the outside, right? It has enough trouble dealing with itself. So, but you just keep going down, And it's noisy and it's problematic and it's strong. It's like the mind makes mental and visual noises. The heart is just pure Shakti. It's just giving energy. It's vibrations of energy. So you have to learn how to deal with that. And so basically you keep letting go and relax and let go and relax and let go and relax. Just dive deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. And as you do, I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. And when I finish a little bit of this, I'll tell you some stuff that the Bible talks about this, right? It's like you just relax through it. That's all. Your commitment is, this is what your commitment is if you're a serious spiritual seeker. I'm going down there. I don't care. That's where the problem is. And that's where the solution is. And God's on the other side of all that fear. And that's where I'm going. So I just tell you the Bible. I was getting ready for Passover way back where Durga still lived out here, my daughter. And we would kind of look up some special stuff and talk about the Passover talk. I give a talk. And we ended up in Genesis, in the Bible. And I'll never forget what I read. It said, after man was thrown out of the garden, God took a cherubim with a flaming sword and set that angel at the east gate of the garden, lest man figure how to get back into the garden And instead of tasting the tree of knowledge, taste the tree of eternal life. That fire that you're going toward as you dive toward the heart, you wait, you'll see. That is that cherubim. That is that sword. And I remember thinking, God didn't have to put something you're afraid of, a rattlesnake, a divorce. He put fear itself there. That'll get you out of there, wouldn't it? Right? Let's see who can make it through that. And so as you go down, it's hotter and hotter. That's all. And you have to want to go. You have to say, I don't care. And that's the meaning of my life, is to pierce the heart chakra, is to make it through this stuff that I stored down there. And there's another line in Star Wars when Yoda was teaching Luke that he had to go into this cave. Remember that verse, right? Had to go into the cave. And Luke turned around and said, because all covered with vines, it was dark. Luke turned around and said, but what's in there? Yoda said, nothing you don't bring in with you. You're bringing yourself into there. You're bringing your stuff in there. Nothing you didn't bring in with you. You got to work it through. You got to work through yourself. Okay? When it's all said and done, you're not solving this stuff except to work through it and let it go. And so as you dive down, there may be shadows that come up, that are difficult to deal with and just push you back up. That, oh my God, there was a divorce. And so I broke my arm. And it's like, it just starts coming up. But it comes up as energy, not as words. It just comes up as a pattern of energy that got stored down there. And somebody just spits you right back out. Do you hear me? You know what I'm talking about? You have to be committed. You have to be willing to say, yes, but I'm going back. I'm going back. When? I don't care. Every single time I can. That's all. Entire rest of my life. I'm going back. I don't care what it does. I told you once, Master had this beautiful poem called The Hound of Heaven. He didn't write it. My understanding is when devotees would go to live with him in the ashram, he would have them read his books, which of course they do. You don't want to get confused. But they would have them read this poem. That was a poem he was committed to. And I'm not going to go through the whole poem, but it's the hound of heaven, and God is the hound, and you are human running away. Why? It's scary. No, I don't want that to happen. No, I don't want to get divorced. No, I don't have this. I don't want to do that. Right? You're just running through all the corners of your life, trying to be okay. And then at the very end of the poem is so beautiful. It says, I'm cornered now. The hound has got me. There's no place for me to run. What do I do? And then the final lines are something like, oh my, is it possible that the darkness I was running away from my entire life was the shadow of your hand reaching down to pick me up? We're going to talk deep tonight. That's what it is. That heart is trying to cleanse itself, and you're running away from it with your mind and with your actions outside to try to be okay. Which is why I teach, which I don't care if they like it or not. Is there a law of attraction? Of course there's a law of attraction. Of course you can attract yourself if you meditate and focus on what you want. I don't highly advise it. Why? That's basically saying, I got problems. Mine came up with a solution. I need a new wife. I need a new husband. I need more money. I need a new house. I need to be accepted. I need to be famous. Now I'm going to attract it to myself so that I'll never go to God. It's not about getting what you want. It's about finding out why you want it. You're whole and complete within yourself. You're a great being. On the other side of that fire is the divine consciousness. But you're not willing to go there. So you run out and you try to fix the world and fix people so that the way you want them to be, so you don't have to deal with yourself. That's the only reason you want anything other than your basic food, clothing, and shelter. Is because you're not okay. You built a self-concept of yourself. You're not getting what you want. You don't feel good about it. So how can I get what I want so I feel better? It's not very deep, pretty shallow. You're basically saying, I don't want to go down there and deal with my stuff. My stuff has emanated that stuff, and my mind came up with solutions. Good luck, by the way. Doesn't even know what it wants, right? Came up with solutions. Then it changes its mind every day. And it comes with a solution, then it tries to make them happen. I don't care you try to make them happen. You work inside. The answer is inside, deep inside. Doesn't mean you work with the outside. You're going to work with the outside. Life is an interactive sport. But the purpose of your life is that dive to the heart. And you keep your eye on that. And when things flare up at night or flare up during the day, you remember that's coming from here. I can't deal with it right now. I'll do what I can to be okay. No problem with that. Yogananda's guru used to say, throw the dog a bone when they were talking about total renunciation. Fine, so have an ice cream. All right? It's better than all this stupid stuff you would do. But ultimately, the pole star of your life, the entire meaning of your life, is that dive down through the energy, the Shakti that's coming up, causing all this noise in the mind. You're diving down into it. How? I'll tell you how. Relax. I have no other techniques. I don't care. You can put helmets on your head and throw lights and do all kinds of weird things. Do whatever you want. When it's said and done, relaxation is the only thing that will let you go to the next level. You have to relax through where you're caught. You have to relax through what's pushing up, and it seems so hot. Fine. So as you go down there, believe it or not, everything feels more and more beautiful because you become capable of handling what you were afraid of your entire life, like that hound to heaven thing. You understand, I don't want to run from that shadow. That shadow is the divine trying to lift me up. I want to help that. I don't want to run from that. But you still will run from it. I told you, it's the stairway to heaven. It's not a leap. And so you just keep relaxing through it. And whatever you have to go through, you go through. But what if I'm doing really well and all of a sudden this thing happens outside and the person I was leaning on, they left me or they died and that happened and now for years I'm not okay, right? You needed to go through that. How do you know? Because you went through it. Because you had sincerity in your heart and mind that the entire purpose of my life is working through this stuff I stored in there. And I was doing really well. I really felt some divine consciousness and presence. And then this thing happened and it threw me for a loop. No, it didn't. It's that shadow reaching down to pick you up. But it was strong. You got knocked off the horse a little bit. That's good, not bad. The question is, are you willing to get back on? Are you willing to, as soon as possible, sit there and say, I have a journey I devoted my life to. And yes, this was difficult, but I'm okay. I can handle it. I'm going back. Some people never go back, which I don't want to talk about that either, which is why you're given many tries. Do you understand that? It's not a one shot and that's it, right? Even during your life, you're given many tries, aren't you? You just use each one the best you can to go to the next layer. And what happens is once you can handle the heat and the pressure and the push of the Shakti of a given layer, you can get comfortable with it, just like you get comfortable with things in your life or with your mind. Your ego figures out how to be okay. What did Freud say about the ego? Between the id, the body's drives, and the superego, societies, the ego tries to find a place of compromise where it can be okay in between all of that. You don't want that compromise. You want out. But that's what Freud talks about the ego. It's the I that finds the balance between society and id pressures, right? That's my self-concept. It's okay if I do this. It's okay if not okay to do this. And you just kind of try to make it be okay. When you go deeper, it does become okay. That fire, that heat, you become comfortable with it. And it turns into Shakti. It is Shakti. Not turns into, it is Shakti. But you're pushing it away. You fight with it. And it bounces off. It causes all kinds of trouble, right? But when you can relax in that presence, you start feeling this energy coming up. And it encourages you to keep diving. It doesn't encourage you to stay there. People say that, oh, he's doing so well. And then all I write them back and say, good, thank you. I'm glad it happened. You understand that? Do the best you can. And then step for as long as you can and come back as soon as you can. Stay for as long as you can, come back as soon as you can. As long as you can, as soon as you can. And pretty soon you become established in the seat of self. The distance, the gap between going down and coming back is gone. And you're just there and you continue that dive. And no matter what the heat is. And you will come to a point, where you thought you knew what heat was like. You thought you knew what it felt like to have somebody die that you love. You thought you knew what it was like to lose everything in your life. No. This heat is way past that. Those heats still had red and blues. This one's white. Way down, right in the center. Right in the center of your heart. Like a black hole, but bright, burning star. And you have to say, I'm going there. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I'm going past that. And that's when you break past. And once you break past that point in the heart, it's over. Life can do whatever it wants to do. Sure, of course you have little ripples, all right? But the mind doesn't say anything. It says, boy, this is not so much fun. That's as far as it goes. Because it knows, why would I play with that? and you get to stay. At that point, the Shakti changes direction. I talked about it once before. Right now, you don't realize that you're being pulled down. Your mind is distracting you. Your heart is distracting you. And it's just basically the Shakti is pulling you down and out, down and out. You look for solutions outside. You're being pulled outside. You're being pulled into disturbance of the heart, being pulled down into disturbance of the mind, down and out. That's the true fall. When you pass that piercing I'm talking about, it's rare, but it's very hot and it's very serious. Shakti changes direction. From then on, she goes up. You don't have to do anything. People talk about Master Yogananda. It's all about will. It's not about will. There are many stages, all right? There's a point in which it's not about will, because will is something you exercise, and you will get to the point where there is not enough you there to be touching anything. There's just awareness of being pulled up. The Shakti is pulling you up. So now there's just a letting go. That's the ultimate last act of will, is the willingness to merge, the willingness to let go. This is a journey I'm talking to you about. This is the journey of your life. This is the entire purpose of your life. Your life has a purpose. It's not yes, you can have children. Yes, you can get married. Yes, by all means. Go through what you need to go through. Live your life. But the meaning of your life is not something that comes and goes. It's not something that goes away because you die. Where are your children? Where's that? They're gone. What's happening is you're trying to build a life out here to make yourself be okay. You understand? It has a termination time. That doesn't mean you die. It means everything else goes away. And the Shakti stays, all right? I'm not trying to scare you, but your business, your relationship, the buildings, your name. I love that I want my name to last. It's just the world. It's not the meaning of your life. The meaning of your life is liberation. The meaning of your life is freedom, Jivan Mukta. You're in there, and you're caught in there. You see this journey I just talked to you about. And when you pierce the heart chakra, when you pierce that center, the Shakti changes direction. Now she's feeding you instead of pulling you down, expressing herself as all the disturbances you have. You start to feel love all the time. When? All the time. What do you mean all the time? You want to feel love? Wave your hand over the fourth chakra. Love comes pouring through your mind. It's like any chakra you wave your hand across, the energy comes flying and feeds you bliss. How'd you like to live there? It doesn't mean to interact with the world. I told you the difference is you're not interacting with the world because you're not okay. You're interacting with the world because you are okay. And you're taking that love and that inspiration and that beauty and that compassion and expressing it into the world. Now what you're expressing is the attempt to manipulate people, places, and things to be the way you need it to be, so you have to deal with yourself. I'm not blaming you, but you understand that, right? That's what the whole thing is. Why don't we just let go? Let go of ourselves completely, so there is no ego in there. There is no personal self in there. And there's just this Shakti pouring up inside of you, feeding you, and feeding everybody else. You go hang out with a great saint, that aura is beyond your comprehension to stand in that. From way, way across the room. I told you, I've been in a room with a great master, a great being. Thousands of people in the room. That's how big the room was. And there's a darshan line all the way back. I couldn't walk into the room. It was like a magnetic force of two negative poles or positive poles of a magnet pushing against each other. Every step I tried to take forward, it was like, oh my God, who is this? That's who you are. That's not who they are. That's who you are. But you've taken all that Shakti, all that energy, all that consciousness, which expands out throughout the universe, and you took it down and focused on your mind. You focused the whole thing on your mind and your heart and your body and your little family, your little life. Boy, did you make it so small. Now you have an ingrown toenail. You have an ingrown mind nail, and you don't know how to get out. Well, we just talked about how to get out. We talked about out too, didn't we? It's good that you know this. That's why there are masters. It doesn't matter if they're in the body or not. That's why there was a Beethoven. That's why there was a Mozart. That's why there's a Monet. That's why the great ones, but they were only great at one thing, art, music. Understand that? A master, great at life, great at love, great at God, right? And so, yes, you take inspiration from them. You're not worshiping. You shouldn't. They're getting it wrong. We don't worship the masters. You pay respect for the state they reached. To worship the masters is to not lose yourself. You basically sit there and say, this state that they reached, Christ said it. He said, as I sit by the throne of my Father. The throne is not a golden seat somewhere. It's a state of consciousness. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. And these things that I do, you shall do these and even greater things. Check it out. So you shall sit by my side, saying, this state that I have reached, of merger, of my Father and I are one, you're right next to me. And that's what the yogis teach. That's what the great ones teach. That's who you are. And you learn that's the purpose and the meaning of your life. And so you take this dive. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much it hurts. At some point you stop. Look, childbirth hurts. Ever had a baby? Anybody ever heard of a baby? I hear it hurts a little bit. And they go back for seconds and thirds. And it's worth it. That's what this is. This is soul birth. You're birthing your soul. And you just willingly relax through it because it takes you where you want to go. And the Shakti will show you. You're turning the fear into love. It's an alchemy. You literally, that which is down there with all fear and insecurity, I told you, it's just fear. You can call it jealousy, call it insecurity. It's fear. As you go down there and you face it, but not face it means I'm strong enough to face it. No, that's not strength. You just relax. It's not I'm strong enough to do it. You will lose that. No one's strong enough for that, right? Just relax. Just relax through it. That's the greatest strength, the willingness to relax through it, whatever you're experiencing. And it will take you home. You have to figure it out. People say, what is my path? That's your path. But you didn't tell me what to do. It's not for me to tell you what to do. It's for you to understand who you are and do what you need to do to get back there, because you will find your way. And everything in your life will unfold, helping you pull that through that. But if something goes wrong, you say, I went the wrong way. No, there's no wrong. There's no right. There's just growth. There's just situations that life presents you that help free you from yourself. If you look at it that way, wait till you see how deep you can go and how fast you can go. All right. I told you I'd be afraid to have this talk tonight. Very deep. It's good that you hear it once. It's good that you know who you are. It's good that you know how to go there. It's not over there in the Himalayas somewhere. It's not out there in some ashram. It's in here, deep in there. All right. Jagrative.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shakti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.